One of the national problems, we've read a lot about it, is loneliness. You know, as you've been extracted from that community of work, you're extracted from the community of people that kids went to school with, all those communities that were ready made for you go away. You've grown out of, and you're lonely. And I think that is a problem. I think loneliness is devastating in a lot of different ways, but one of the things we've done is made a concerted effort to not be lonely, to develop a community that ensures almost that there are people, that we have people beyond our family, that we have people to enrich our lives. So should we talk a little bit about how we thought about that? Because we were pretty intentional about creating a new community. That's what Luster's all about. Luster is all about creating this community that you can connect with, that, or people like you, so it's there when you need it or
Right.
want it.
Because we were surprised, I think, even though it's sort of obvious, we were surprised at the effect on us of not having a ready-made community or various ready-made communities. And we weren't quite sure what to do about it. And we had read about how as people get older, they get isolated and they don't have community, and it's very bad for your health.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, we're gonna do something about this. We didn't know what, I don't think, and we had no idea actually the wonderful things that were gonna happen. But one thing we decided to do was talk to everybody we knew, even talking to people that we wouldn't normally perhaps have exposed ourselves to, just to talk about all of these issues. What would you do with these issues? Some of these people were retired, some were working. But we found that people were very happy to talk to us, and once they understood that we had an objective, which was to figure out how to make this life for ourselves, they helped us. All of them helped us, one way or another. And we met different people. They would introduce us to different people, and we would meet them. I mean, we were lucky enough to be able to meet people anytime they wanted to meet, and we'd like to meet them in person.
Yeah.
We didn't think it was all that helpful at this stage to be meeting them online. This was thankfully pre-COVID. And we began to realize as you've said before, we did have some control over this, but we did have to put ourselves out there in a way that was a bit new for us.
I think the key to what we did was say yes to everything, which we had never, at least for me, I'd say, we never did before. We couldn't, but we realized that the notion of trying to find community by trying to find like-minded people or people that had the same interests was irrelevant. Right? I mean, it was just totally irrelevant. If you were an actress, that was great. If you were whatever it was interesting. And we had so many meetings, lunches, drinks, dinner occasionally with new people, many of whom we've seen a lot since, some of whom we never saw again. But it was always a good conversation that we took something away from. Always. I mean, it was just this kind of, I would say it spiraled. We started really tiny, right?
But we also got better at it.
Yeah, we did.
At the beginning, we were, oh my God, I don't know how to reach out to someone, and then we just did it, and then we got to realizing that was probably not gonna kill us, so we could do it again. And
Yeah, that's an important point, actually. That we were not very good at it. I remember that first lunch, and we were so awkward. I mean, surprisingly for us, awkward. You know, saying, why do you want to talk to us? Kind of like, I mean, thank you for being here.
Why on earth did you agree to have lunch with us? Just
right,
because
do you
we're
remember
paying,
that?
or what?
It was on the west side.
I remember.
And we said, and then we thought, well, that was interesting. And she said, well, you know, you might want to talk to somebody else, and we immediately followed up with her and said, we'd love to talk with somebody else. And it seems like if you're open to it, everybody wants to talk to everybody, and everybody wants to. I mean, we just had a crazy experience with a woman got in touch with us on Luster. We met her. We've done a couple of videos with her. She's an expert on healthcare and all sorts of aging stuff. She's lovely. I had a family member that actually needs the kind of services that she does. I connected the two of them, and they're off and running. right? One's helping the other find somebody on the East Coast, even though she's on the West Coast. I mean, it's exactly what should happen. And they had a very long conversation about their respective whatevers. So it just builds. And if you're sitting there thinking, you know, I feel very alone, I don't know where to find people, I don't know how to connect with people, just go someplace and start talking to somebody.
To somebody.
It doesn't have to be the right person. It doesn't have to be a person that you're going to spend the rest of, you know, your new best friend. But just going someplace that has conversation, whether it's a Starbucks or a museum or anywhere where you can just turn your head and start, it's not bad. It works. It's crazy, it works.